trying to create opportunities, right? Like, whether that's cold calling or you building relationships more as the investor, and then building relationships with realtors who can bring you deals, right? Any
Yeah.
which way that you can generate more opportunities, more flow to you, the better. Now, obviously, the
Yeah.
more distance you put yourself between you and directly to the seller, the more it
Yeah.
is difficult to find wonderful opportunities to make money, because that person has to be paid, right? So you're adding
Yeah.
more cost to the deal, right?
Yeah. Distance meaning, what do you mean distance? Like,
As in, like, more individuals between you and the seller, right? So, like,
right, right. Okay.
a realtor,
Gotcha.
a wholesaler, another investor,
Yeah.
whatever, the more
Yeah.
people you put between you and the seller, more
Yeah.
cost, right?
Direct consumer kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So we like to, my team chose to do cold calling. That's what we focus on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's many ways to do it. If you,
No, no,
if you
absolutely.
if you're good at,
Yeah.
or if you want to dedicate more time and less cost, cold calling is a wonderful option. If you want to
Yeah.
do more cost and, you're okay with cost, but you don't want to spend as much time, then you should do
Mhm.
mailers, paid ads, right? There could be a lot of that. So it
Yeah.
depends on what
Yeah.
you want to do.
I mean, I guess it's the preference thing. I do like the cold calling route myself.
Okay.
I think that's just the way I was taught to do
Okay.
business that way.
So
It's the model's kind of changed though.
yeah,
So
yeah. So realistically, right, if we just talk from absolute square one, right, if you, or
sure.
I just want to understand where you're at. Do you have any software to pull leads, or would you need that? Or
I would probably need that. Maybe I could. I might be able to, steal some from my brokerage because I know they were trying to actually get a commercial real estate division over there, and they knew I had a background in finance. They knew I opened my own seafood business and sold it, stuff like that.
if you're going to choose cold calling, right, you need to have a few different things. One, you need to have a lead source, right? So some type of
Yeah.
software that can give you exports. Now, you can do this with one of a couple ways. One, you could use a software like a Reonomy, a CoStar, a CREsync, a PropStream, stuff like that, which will give you exports, and you'll pay a
Yeah.
very small monthly fee.
Just
Another
gonna write
option
that
is you
down.
use like a lead software or a lead company, right? Which I've used in the past as well. We have several
Yeah.
where you
So,
pay a bulk
yeah.
amount of money, basically a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of money per
I'm familiar.
lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Um,
want to. Yeah.
Correct, right?
Oh,
And then so you basically have to choose which direction you want to go. We can, I can kind of point you in the right direction depending on which path you want to go. Once you have that set up, right, the where you're going to get your exports, right, your leads, you're then going to upload them into
yeah.
any type of dialer you choose. You can use Mojo, you can use Call Tools, you can use Ready Mode, you can use, I mean, there's literally, I don't know, 4 or 5 dozen
Yeah.
dialers that you can use.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all
Our,
basically a few $100s a month. So then you'll basically take your exports, you'll upload them to the dialer, and then you'll use my script book, which I will put again in the Zoom link here so you have it. So that is the most simplified version of the first 1, 2, 3 steps, right? You
yeah.
got lead exports, you put them into a dialer, you use the script, and you call it, right?
Yeah.
Now, the process in which you're calling it, right? Like, obviously, for a schedule wise, my goal would be to try to tell you to try to generate 2 seller leads a day. That's your minimum metric. Now, if you want
Yeah.
to be more of a broker, less of an investor, because there's two different kinds of sides to this coin, right?
Right.
As an investor, I go for 2 seller leads a day, and I like to make 2 offers a day. So I make an offer on all my properties that I generate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great system.
Now, if you're looking
actually.
to be a broker, you want to set up an appointment to go meet with them to go list the property. It's very different,
Yeah.
right? So it depends on what you want to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
keep in mind that we have a multifaceted approach. If the deal makes a lot of sense because we make an offer on the property for X price, which I'll teach you how to evaluate it, and they're pretty open-minded to that price, then we'll try to buy it or wholesale it. Or if
Yeah.
they're very high on price, I'll just choose to broker it, right? I just drafted up
Right.
right now. Seller said he wanted around $4.5 million. I sent him
Mhm.
an offer for $4.5 million. Because it doesn't make sense for me to buy it. I wanted to offer him like $3 million, but he wanted 4.5 to 5 million was his range. I offered him 0.5
Yeah.
million with a 6% commission. I'm just going to broker it off market.
Yeah. Was it rent roll? What like how much was the rent roll, Nelly?
It's actually the rent sucks on this deal,
That's
but the price per
well,
square foot for
where
this
is-
market is very, very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just locked him in for a very long-term lease at very low rent.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And I'm not
probably
buying this.
dictates the value.
Some other guy's buying this. I just know the guy is a
Oh,
good
you're
friend of
just
mine.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Just brokering the deal.
I'm
Got it.
just brokering it off market. I brought him the deal.
Yeah.
I told him I'd net him 4.2 million. My offer's at 4.5 million. I'll make
Yeah.
300 and I'll just go screw off. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
easy enough.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want
So
that, right?
correct. So again, I'll walk you through those processes once you get to the leads. But like, similar to most other businesses, until you get an opportunity, right? Like there's nothing to really else to talk about besides process. We could talk process
Yeah.
all day long.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I know. Right. Right.
So what I would recommend is that, every opportunity you get, now obviously you're in Jersey, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So like, look, I was the number one commercial broker with EXP last year. I have a buyer for just about any asset class that you come across. So please keep me
Okay.
posted of anything you come across because I could definitely
Oh yeah.
support you in bringing you a buyer. We could split the deal anytime you come across something.
For sure, yeah,
Okay.
and likewise, absolutely. Like, if there's anything that you see that's in New Jersey, like you want me to run by somewhere and
For
whatever, give
sure.
you some photos.
For sure.
Absolutely, I'll give it to you.
So, and I heard you were talking about, developing. Is there any reason why you want to develop properties?
I just same it's same. So I have some family on my wife's side, obviously, so some in-laws that are they're like old money kind of stuff, and they do that kind of work. So it seems that the game, they always play like they don't have a lot of money, but they have a room that's dedicated to statues, kind of thing. So it seems that they have it's a successful road, to start developing and do it that way. And it's a good thing to also give to my kids. Like that's a
And
we're
so you
in
want to
real
build to
estate.
keep them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to build these properties to keep them or build them to sell them?
Build them to, so some of them maybe sell them, and some of them, yeah, keep them for sure.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, and
Yeah,
just so I understand, because obviously, look, everyone's starting at a different place, totally cool, right?
yeah,
But my intention, because I want you to have the most success possible for our 12 months, your intention is
yeah.
to basically find wonderful development opportunities that you can
Mhm.
go buy, go build it, and possibly keep it or sell it. That's what you're looking to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yes,
Awesome. Just want to make sure I'm on the right page. So
yeah, yeah.
essentially what I would do, by the way, now, again, depending on what software you're going to do, you're going to be basically, I would highly recommend you're basically targeting maybe one or two or three-ish, maybe five at most towns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And you really know where you want to be developing
Okay.
because the most money in development is made when you do one of a few things. One, you understand the town more than anybody else, where you're able to
Yeah.
get the zoning done. So you
Yeah.
basically are buying something that used to be X and you're turning it to Y.
Henry, I want to tell you something actually before you. I'm sorry to cut you off. Actually,
You're good.
I already have an idea. Since I think you said you were from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Or somewhere I read somewhere you were. Okay,
I'm
so
from
do
Freehold.
you know Sussex? Oh, okay, that's great. So it's a little bit further south, but Sussex County. Are you familiar with Sussex?
Yeah, I'm buying a property right now in Sussex personally.
So that's perfect point. There's a lot of upside right there with commercial development. I see it, and I actually have a lot of connections as well because there's places with a lot of venues over here, but there's no commercials. I mean, there's no hotels. So that's a possible space. So there's also these large parcels of land. Even some have zoning, and they're just sitting there, on the market. So I can't even imagine some that aren't off market. That some of the commercial realtors are, they're just that they have in their pocket.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look, we could definitely try to work together on trying, like what I would do is I would target as an example. First off, by the way, I would go, if you can, I would call up a couple of these towns and get to know some of the zoning officers. Because what you want to do is you want to see how friendly they are to the idea of development of multifamily before you start spinning your wheels. Because some of them are like, we don't want it, and we have rent control, and
Yeah.
this is not for us. And then there's going to be
Yeah.
some towns that are like, we would love for you to come build multifamily, right?
Yeah.
And it's very landlord friendly towns.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to just know before you start spending a lot of time prospecting a town
For sure.
to build multifamily, like, hey, am I going to do all this and then get stuck with something that has rent control on it because the town
Yeah.
hates it?
Oh yeah, yeah, right. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of like the Sussex County Andover kind of area, Freedon Andover kind of area, because they're in the town board meetings. It's like three people, so the approvals and the planning boards, it's going to be it's kind of cake. Like I said, so a little bit of background. Also, I helped one of my uncles get his get started on his venue. He wanted to open his own venue, so I'm familiar with the whole process also, and maybe that's also why I wanted to get into developing myself, because it's something that I know the steps, but at the same time, like I can use a refresher as like a realtor, because
And yeah, you can keep
there's
me as
all of
basically
these.
like I'm going to handhold you through the process for the most part, right? Like, obviously I might try to
That's
claim that
great.
I've developed thousands of units, but I could basically get you to the point where you can
Yeah.
go then start talking to
Well,
your
let's do it.
contractor and they'll take it from there. Like I'm good at helping
Yeah.
you find the deal. Like I'm the upfront guy. Like I'll help you find the
Okay.
deal, vet the deal kind of thing, right?
Okay, great. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So yeah, so the stuff that you're saying, even I actually had put some thought into it
Cool.
already. So, but yeah, definitely, I will get to know some of the town
Zoning off.
officers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Zoning officers, yeah, zoning officers. For some reason, I made it look like coning officers, zoning officers. I'll definitely get to know some of them, so we
At
can.
least just bring up, listen, I'm looking at like, hi, my name is Roy. I'm looking to develop, I know my family and I have developed in other areas. We're looking to look into a town to start developing more apartments. Wanted to give,
Yeah.
the zoning officer a call of a couple different towns, specifically this one. And I just wanted to get an understanding of like, are you guys even looking for more apartments? What are you
Yeah.
specifically looking for? Where would you be most, prone to approve this type of asset? Right? Because
Yeah.
like if you're going to start looking for opportunity, you want to know like, hey, like if he says a certain zoning is like, listen, anything in this zoning, we'll give you approvals, no problem for X amount of units plus, right? And then you
Yeah.
can basically then start digging into these towns and
Yeah.
trying to find lots that are of, in X zoning, that are X size, X, whatever, that fall, that match all this criteria. You're gonna have a lot more of a successful path versus just saying, hey, I really like Sussex, New Jersey. I'm going to call that
Yeah. Yeah.
Sussex, right?
Yeah.